Everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited today and I tell you why. I've bought myself some heated equipment for my bike. Yes, I can actually start going out in the winter without freezing my nads off. So I've spent a fortune on these. Now I've bought the jacket, pants. Do I really need the pants? Probably not. I'm not planning on going to Norway, but you never know, do you? Arctic Circle, who knows? Anyway, the Dalton Highway, I don't think so, not on that bike anyway. So I've spent a fortune on these. Now these are made by a company called Keis. It sounds Austrian or German to me, I don't know. Look it up on Google if you want, I don't care, as long as it keeps me warm. But I'm not sponsored by these in any shape or form. I'm going to give an honest review. It's cost me quite a few quid, quite a few £100 for that matter. But anyway, it doesn't matter, as long as you're warm and you can afford it, get it on. Right, it's come with some wiring, and a lot of these manufacturers, when they sell you an accessory, they go, yeah, wire it straight into the battery. Well, I'm not going to do that, because you can end up with a spaghetti junction of wires hanging off your battery, you know, for your your Apple CarPlay thing and your jackets and all the other stuff that you want to plug your phone into and all that. So there's a better way of doing it. You can wire direct into the loom. You've only got to find a live and an earth and put a fuse in it. So that's what I'm going to do today. So in the box you get a lead to connect straight to the battery on their recommendation, and that's got like your live and your earth, and then a plug which goes into the jacket itself or the garment itself. I got one of each, so I can do each bike, which is handy. So I'm glad I bought the pants, because you know I've got that with it. I can stick that on the Enfield, and then the other one on the big lad. So like in the box you got the fuses as well, so you have to rate it for, you know, if you're just wearing the jacket, it's a specific fuse. If you're wearing the jacket and the pants, it's a higher rated fuse. And then there's a chart you get and user instructions, but there's a chart you get. I'll have to blow that up because there's no way I'm going to be able to read that. Like, so I'll take a picture of that, blow it up on my phone, and find out which is the correct rating for the fuse on the jacket. It also comes with this controller, so that plugs into the jacket, and then you've got your different heats. So let's clear some of this mess to create some space. It lives. I've got hooked up to the battery is for the Optimate, to top the battery up, you know, over winter. So that's the only thing really I want to have on the battery, because otherwise you end up like spaghetti junction, all kinds of leads hanging out of the battery, and it's not good. The battery terminals, the actual bolts, are only short anyway, so the more you put on it, the more they're going to rattle off down the road. You got breakdown looking all over it, you know what I mean? So it's not a no for me. There we go. Normally comes off easier than that, but never mind. So what I've done, and this is what I'm planning on doing with the jacket, electrics. So that screen, the manufacturer said wire it into the battery, which I've not done. So I've wired it straight in to the harness down here somewhere. Basically I broke into the live, took an earth, and then put a fuse in it. Now there's actually, on this bike, this is CTX 1300, so I discovered, and I never knew this after all these years of owning it, right, there's a cigarette lighter socket there. So we'll just follow basically the line, found the live, and then wired the screen straight in. So now when you turn the bike on, the screen should come straight on. There's a little switch on the side to turn it on and off. That's if you've wired it to the battery, but I wasn't bothered about that. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the jackets. Well, I've hit a snag, look at this. So that's the lead that the manufacturer says put on the battery. Now there's a genuine reason why they want you to put it on the battery, so I'm going to have to accept defeat here. So if you look at this So where my screen is wired into the cigarette lighter outtake, so you've got really thin gauge wire, which means it's not pulling a lot of amps. But if you look at this, that's considerably thicker wire, so that's on there for a reason, so it must be pulling more amps. I've just checked and it is. So the only thing is on this bike, why I wanted to wire it into the system here, was because, for one, I don't like a lot of leads on the battery, but on the CTX, the battery's right at the front, right? A lot of bikes, the battery's down here somewhere, isn't it? And you can get it, you can just throw the two wires on, seat back on, job done, Bob's your uncle. But the bottom line is, right, I just wanted to have it all neat. I didn't want wires hanging around everywhere. So I think what I'm going to have to do now is accept defeat and just wire it straight to the battery. It's the only thing you can do, and come up with a solution of how to tidy the wiring up. Now, I don't want to like run it through here, because obviously you're on the engine, and I don't want anything getting melted or anything like that. I've just tried it. It comes over, but I don't know whether it's going to stretch far enough. We'll have a little look in a minute at that. I've got to take that screw out, this little lug here, and then that cover comes off to expose the battery. Proper flimsy that. Now you're probably wondering, why doesn't he just go into the cigarette lighter? Well, I'll tell you why, right? It's because if you have a look at that there, so there's your cigarette lighter. I could put like a joint on the end, or a cigarette lighter fitting on the end of that to go into this, but I can see that rattling off down the road, 100 miles, 200 miles down the road, a couple of bumpy roads, that's coming out. So you'd be forever stopping and, you know, taking it off. They're also prone to corrosion, these. I don't like them. They're just a quick fix. So I'm going to go with the battery use, because after all, that's what it says on the tin to do. So it's the only thing, it's the obvious thing to do. It's the right thing to do, isn't it? Right, so let's disconnect this here. Let's go. Let's get the head off. Take that off. It is in an awkward place, this battery, but I suppose because it's such a big engine and the layout of it, there's nowhere else to put it really. I mean, it is a good design of motorcycle, but you know, there are things on it which do slightly annoy me. But there you go, that's just me having a gripe. But overall, it's a fantastic motorbike, this really is. It's got heated grips as well, this. So I am going to be toast. So it's not too bad, that actually. There's two terminals on it. It's closed down pretty nice and tight. Let's get the earth on. So I'm all up there to the battery. So if you look where I'm left at with here, so I've got all that. Now that's enough length to get into the jacket. Right, so I wasn't happy with all that cable all over the place. So what I've done, I've removed the coin tray and I found like a channel which comes all the way through down here. This is without removing all this. I didn't want to do that. And then I've threaded the wire all the way through, removing a couple of panels, like, you know, the cover, the rocker cover and all that. So I've managed to get the lead to a place where I want it, and it's nice and tidy, so that can just like hang out a little bit under the seat, and I can just plug the jacket straight in then. Well, only one more thing to do. Let's get it all back together, hook it up, fire it down the road. Let's go. And there we go, I can just plug the jacket straight in, all nice and neat, as and when I want it. Happy days. Right, so let's get it plugged in. There we go, just plugs in there. Now I've plugged the pants into the jacket, so let's get it started off on level, let's go for level 1. So you just hold the button and it comes on. So let's start off on level 1 and see how we get on with that. So instantly, as soon as I hit that button there on the low setting, it's I could feel the knees heating up almost instantly, which is a good sign, and that's really warm, that. So if that's the low setting, the jacket not so much so, that's just starting sort of to get like tepid, if you like, but I can really feel it on the knees. I don't know why, maybe that's the way they're designed. I mean, you want in the cold weather, you want the warm on your knees anyway, so that's good. Now, I couldn't have picked a worse day really, because it's absolutely thrown it down. I think it's about 2 degrees at the moment, so I'm glad it's not 0, because it's not nice riding your bike in the frozen conditions. And I'll be honest, I am a bit of a fair weather biker. I should get out more, and I think with these heated undergarments I'm well going to get out a little bit more. So it's just a gentle heat on the jacket. It's you can just feel it warming up a little bit on the arms and around the back area. But as I say, the pants, I mean, if they stayed at that level now, I'd be happy with that. Any hotter than that, I think I'm just going to fry my legs. End up with 2 chicken legs. Now these garments, they're not waterproof. So you know, you got to have a really good weather protection for them, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I can really start feeling the arms. Just took the chill off my arms and around my back area. So I'm going to go for level 3 or level 2, sorry, in a minute. That's medium setting. So while we're at these lights here, let's get it on. Stick that on number medium. Here we go. Yeah, so instantly you can feel the temperature starting to rise now. Oh yeah, you can feel it really. That's nice. And I can imagine on a long journey with these, that would be an absolute godsend. As we all know, you're doing 200-300 miles down the line and you're starting to get cold. There's nothing worse, and it takes the enjoyment out of being on a bike. I find this is just really nice. This, how comfortable is that? I don't know where these have been all these years I've been out on bikes and stuff. This has just brought a new lease of life, I think, to riding the bike in the winter. I'm going to throw the heated grips on in a bit, see how I get on. I'll do that on the way back. But I'm currently on the medium setting, and that is fantastic. That really nice. I like it a lot. I'll go into the specifications of the garments in a little bit. Bore you with the boring stuff if you like, but it's worth knowing, you know. Now, when you've got the pants and the jacket hooked up, you have a different fuse. So if you've just got the jacket on, it's a 5 amp, and then if it's both together, you've got a 7.5 amp. And I think it goes higher when you put, like, you know, the heated socks and the heated gloves into the mix, because they're all interchangeable. There's like a loop system, electrical loop system, which you just plug in and out. It's plug and play, dead simple. But yeah, I'm impressed with this. Very nice. And I think what I'm going to do is take it up the motorway with the full heat. You only need a t-shirt on underneath this, because they're quite thin garments as well, which is good, because if you're going to put multiple clothes on, you don't want to be bulking out, and it's just a nice comfy feeling. So you know, you've got ease of movement as well, because the garments aren't too thick, which I quite like about that. There's like a fleeced lining inside. You know, it's warm as soon as you put them straight on. You know, the first time you put them on, they feel comfortable, but as soon as you hit that button, my word, you do feel the difference. Now I can feel that on the medium heat now, heating up around the shoulders, not so much the arms, but I can feel that heating up around the shoulders, which is nice. What a filthy day, oh my god. I really do need an adventure bike, I think. Although this, you know, this bike's absolutely fantastic in this weather. I've not long had new tyres on it as well, so I'm not sure how they're going to deal with in the wet. Been alright up to now, I suppose. Now, what do you guys think? Do you work this sort of thing, or do you just go out and, you know, hardcore it? Or, you know, are you thinking of investing in this sort of stuff? I mean, I think it's well worth it, because if this is going to keep you warm on a long ride on a Sunday, where you know, you'll be sitting at home on the couch doing nothing, you know, you can actually go out now if you get some of this sort of stuff. And there's cheaper stuff available on the market as well. You know, you don't have to fork out all this. I've just gone extravagant here with the pants and all that, but I suppose you do get what you pay for. I've looked at those cheap garments on TikTok, you know, for like 20 quid. where you press the button and stuff, and they're battery operated, so I don't think they're gonna like have the longevity of something like what I've got on now. So I can feel the inside of my legs quite hot, actually, very hot. So that's on the medium setting. I don't know what it's going to be like on the top one. So as soon as I get up here, I'll put the top setting on. So I think what I'm going to do is put the top setting on just before I get on the motorway, and then come off at the next junction and find a petrol station. Now I can feel it starting to really warm them shoulders up now, and that's beautiful. That is nice. What a thing to have on your bike. I would have killed for this years ago. I went round Scotland on my bike when I was young, and it threw it down. In fact, when I went when I was older, it threw it down as well. It always seems to be raining when I go there. And when you're on your bike, you're thinking, oh God, can't wait to get home. It's seeming rain, but I want to stay out now. I actually want to stay out. All across my chest as well, it's starting to heat up now. So let's get it onto the top setting. Right, I'm on the top setting now. And I must admit, the top jacket, that is very cosy indeed. I can feel the arms starting to get hot, really hot. You know, right across my chest, my shoulders, across the back. Let's blast it up the motorway there. Now I can imagine if you're just tootling along, your knees are going to be really hot. But if you're on the motorway like this, you know, you've got the wind over your knees and stuff, it's helping to cool it down. It's just nice. If you've got like a long motorway journey to do, this would be absolutely fantastic. You know, I've been colder in a car, to be quite honest, and I think what I'll do now is put my heated grips on. What a day. Well, I've got my petrol. £1.57 a litre, or £1.58 almost. What an absolute rip-off that is. Only threw a tenner in, like, because I'm only going up the road just to do the test on these undergarments, undercrackers. Alright, let's get plugged back in there. Need to put it back on. Let's see, yeah, we'll leave it on the highest one. Don't normally get me petrol there, but needs be, innit? I wouldn't fill up there. Absolute rip off, these motorway services. So if you come to the UK and you're from America or somewhere like that, expect to be absolutely extorted by the petrol stations here. Yeah, so absolute toast at the moment with these on. Let's give it some biftus down the motorway. So if I had to go to Scotland now, right now, and do 200-300 miles, I would be perfectly happy. You know, my legs are warm, my front, my back, my arms, my shoulders are warm. It's absolutely, it's stunning. Now here's the complete setup. I've got the jacket and the pants, but you can also get gloves. There's socks and insoles. Now that's just mega. That is just another level. So I'll be interested in seeing what they're like when I purchase them little items. I like them. Heated socks. Now when I was out yesterday, it was quite cold and I could feel my feet really noticed the cold because I had the heated gear on. So yeah, well being investing in some of them, definitely. So anyway, I've got the jacket and the pants. Now you've got the controller that plugs into the jacket, and then there's a lead that comes from the pants that plugs into the inside of the jacket. But what I noticed was when I plugged it all together, the pants just became roasting hot, and I couldn't understand why. I thought that controller controlled the pants as well. It doesn't, right? I might be wrong, but I'm sure it doesn't. So I'll have to get another controller. No big problem. I think the 30 to 40 to 50 quid. I've been all over the internet and I've seen different sorts of prices, so I'll have to find out which is the correct one and get another controller. But I did actually plug the jacket controller into the pants. It works on either, and it was controllable and it was enjoyable as well. I liked it, but yeah, well worth getting another controller if you're going to do this, because I just couldn't bear that. In the end, I ended up unplugging it because it was that hot. But yeah, very nice when you got the controller in. Now, I just think these items are so comfortable when you actually wear them. They're not bulky. But if you go into all the other stuff like how do you wash it, you can't. Well, you can wash it, but it's hand wash only. You've got to wash it in cold water. You've got to let it dry. It goes nowhere near a washing machine at all. So, what do I think about these undergarments? Well, they're absolutely fantastic. I can't fault these whatsoever. All you need on is a t-shirt underneath. You plug the pants into the jacket. You click the setting what you need. You've got low, medium, high. Low, just nice. Medium starts getting a little bit hotter. High, that's for like minus conditions. You don't need that. But you know what? Absolutely fantastic. They're comfortable as well. I've got like them on. I've got overpants on underneath this, but they're quite thin. So you know they're not bulky. They're not uncomfortable to wear. They've got like a fleece lining inside. But overall, superb. You've got your pants there which plug into the jacket, and then there's a loop system in the other pocket. If you want to put like the gloves on or the socks, the warmers. Loads of things available for them, but all in all, a decent system. And I think it's just brought to life my winter biking back again, because for years and years and years I'm always looking out the window, oh, I can't be bothered going out. Now I'm going to get out and I'm absolutely toast. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this channel and the content. Please hit like and subscribe because it helps the channel no end. You wouldn't believe how much it helps the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.